Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and back out here in the garage for another First Impressions video. And as always, when it comes to any First Impressions video, I always have to give the caveat. This is not a review. I know some people find these videos because of the title of the video and think, oh, that's a review on a gun that I'm interested in. This is not a review. It's my First Impressions video on a gun that will be properly reviewed on my main channel, because this is the Texas Gun Vault 2, which implies there is a Texas Gun Vault 1, which is just called the Texas Gun Vault. Link in the description below, and that is my main channel. This is just my channel where I turn on my phone and my camera and just record what's ever on my mind almost every night. And this isn't like done with my high quality camera or recording equipment or any of that. It's just for my biggest fans. And tonight I want to talk about two things I went to the range and reviewed. This firearm, this SBR, and this suppressor. So this is the Noveske. I have to remember what this is called, the NODEF, which essentially is the Noveske Leonidas, but chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. So it's a full-powered rifle cartridge and a 12.5-inch barreled AR-10 platform gun. And the suppressor is the Dead Air Sandman S 7.62. Now this is on loan to the channel from my friend D. And once again, I have to give a huge shout out to him because, you know, he lends this stuff to the channel, fills out all of the paperwork, allowing me to borrow it, and I'm really honored that he would trust me with that. So it means a lot because there's more to it with guns and stuff like this than just, you know, lending it to the channel. So he goes above and beyond. So I just want to thank him a lot. And so I have reviewed the Noveske Heavy Leonidas before. I want to say that one was in 308. And I've never, I guess I have shot the 6.5 Creedmoor before, but never really in a platform like this. And you guys know I'm not typically a big fan of short-barreled AR-10s. So this is one of those I was kind of like, oh, okay, I'll review it because I know it's going to interest some people. I have to say, 6.5 Creedmoor in a platform like this has kind of won me over. If it was in 308, I would definitely not be a big fan. But 6.5 seems to hit a little bit lighter. It's still loud and a little bit overkill and overbearing for a gun like this. But it's not like a 308. I think it's a much more capable caliber in a smaller packaged gun. And I have to say, the recoil impulse of this is very light for, you know, a full-powered rifle or AR-10. And by the way, the NODEF is, I guess, made in collaboration. This was like a limited production run firearm made in collaboration with a company called Superior Defense, or I guess SupDef. So I guess they decided to call this the NODEF. I don't know how many units were ever made, but it works well. I have to say it's extremely accurate. As a carbine, which I did review this as a defensive carbine because it has a 12.5-inch barrel. And I'm sorry, I know some people are going to say, oh my God, I hate your videos on stuff like that because you don't review it out to 300, 400, 500 yards or any of that stuff. And I know this gun is very capable out to those distances. But with a gun in a compact package like this, set up the way it is, it really is kind of a defensive carbine. I know, as I said, it's kind of overkill in 6.5 Creedmoor, so I just reviewed it at the 25-yard range. And you can extrapolate any accuracy, inconsistencies, or any of that out to further distances. But when I'm shooting it just kind of from the shoulder, the gun is a little bit heavy, definitely a little bit to front heavy, but it recoils pretty well. I like the adjustable gas block. Even when I have it on suppressed, running it with a suppressor, it's still pretty gassy. And I will talk about that. I think it has more to do with this can than anything else. Accuracy, I think, is kind of off the chart on it. Very happy with the build. It seems solid. I think in the review, which I've already edited the range footage I'm just going to go over the gun's features, talk about what it is, that it's a limited production gun, and then just kind of share my experiences with it. I had kind of limited ammunition on this one, so it wasn't a super extensive range report, but I also had to divide the ammunition between reviewing the rifle and the suppressor. And by the way, I have to give another huge shout out to D because he provided the ammunition for this one. And that's expensive. So it means the world to me. I mean, the guy is, I owe so much of this channel's success to him. So I think when it comes to what this gun is, it's probably going to get 4.5 stars out of 5. It's still not the gun for me. But when it comes to a short-barreled rifled AR-10, full-powered rifle, AR-15, or AR type of gun, I shouldn't say AR-15, AR-10. It's the most manageable. It's the one that I've probably enjoyed the most. And I really think, though, a gun like this with a longer barrel that would have better ballistics would probably be an amazing DMR out to very, very long distances. So it's going to get a great review. I really enjoyed shooting it, and it might be the best big Noveske I have reviewed. So now let's talk about this suppressor. This is the Dead Air Sandman S in 7.62. So it's a 30 caliber suppressor. And it has a end cap here, which I guess is kind of like a flash hider, not really a muzzle brake. I know some companies are doing that now, like Silencer Co. on their, I guess it used to be called the Harvester. I guess it's called the Omega 300 now. And I guess it uses the chemo mount, which I kind of like. I know some people don't like it. I can definitely see why some people don't like it. I can see some people saying it's not as secure. But I like the fact that I can get this off even when the suppressor is hot, when I'm at the range, because the ones that use the taper lock, sometimes I have to wait for those to cool down before I can go between different tests. This can suppresses 6.5 Creedmoor pretty well. It gets hot, very hot, and I'm talking about when I put the laser thermometer on this puppy, almost 600 degrees. And that even wasn't, doing a whole bunch of shooting because I had limited ammunition, and it got hot and stayed hot. The biggest downside to this can, even though I think it has a really nice sound for 6.5 and probably 30 caliber, 308, is it has a lot of resistance or back pressure. Way more than I was expecting. And maybe I've gotten a little bit used to the flow-through baffle designs that so many companies have today. But surprisingly, this one had a lot of resistance. And I thought it would have less resistance because I was running it with the adjustable gas block on the suppressed setting, so we'd have less gas coming back. I don't know. I just kind of felt like that would mitigate stuff. And of course, 6.5 is not going to take up all the space inside the baffles as it goes through the can. So we'd have a little bit of gas blow-by with the projectile. So I was thinking we still have a lot coming out the front and we wouldn't get as much resistance. But oh my gosh, is this gun gassy with this suppressor. I really feel it's the suppressor. I did shoot this gun a little bit unsuppressed. Ran great. Awesome. No issues. Put the suppressor on. Lots of resistance. So the pro to this, great tone. Very impressed with that. I don't really think it has much of a first round pop. Lots of resistance. It does change the point of impact a little bit, but it makes your groups so much tighter and more consistent, but it gets really hot. So this is going to be one of those cans that I'm probably going to review and give kind of a medium rating to, because it definitely has some pros and has some cons. And I think people that like a suppressor that looks a little bit more traditional are going to like this, and ones that use traditional baffle systems, which in my personal opinion, after shooting the flow-through baffle ones and the traditional baffle ones, if you're going for tone alone and the sound of the suppressor, traditional baffles are the way to go. But if you want the low back pressure, you got to go in a different direction. But hands down, this is the most resistant can I have ever shot. I had so much stuff coming back through the ejection port. It was kind of overwhelming. And when I shot this gun kind of fast, I mean, I like felt it in my face and in my eyes. So that's what's going to be on the workbench for this week as I try to get these range reports done. And then I've got to get this thing all cleaned up and back to D. So I've had this one here for a while, and I just need to get it out. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, you know, because sometimes when I get out here, after I review all the range footage, kind of write my bullet point script, I'll remember something or say something off the cuff. So sometimes what I plan on saying isn't what I say in the end. So we'll just have to see. But I think I think the SBR is going to get a really good rating, 4.5 stars out of 5, and the can is probably going to get a 3.5, 3 or 3.5, mainly because of the resistance, but also the point of impact shift. But you guys will have to see that. All right, so that's what I got going for you today. So tonight's video is going to be a little bit short, but I have a surprise for you. A little surprise, little tiny surprise. And if you watch to the end of my videos, you know I always try to do a word of the day. So if I know you watch to the end, you can use that word in the comments. Some people like to play along with that. And it's also like a little metric for me to see who actually watches to the end and wishes to comment. And so the word of the day is going to be surprise. Okay, so you're probably asking yourself, what is the surprise? And by the way, use the word surprise in a comment so I know you watched this far in the video. As you guys know, or may know, I am a professional musician and teacher. And believe it or not, I actually have another YouTube channel which mainly focuses on music, but I haven't uploaded to that channel in like years. But this summer, I promised that I would. I'm a professional trombonist. And tonight I was fooling around in my office with some camera stuff and some microphone stuff. And so I recorded a pretty basic, like, lyrical etude for a trombone. And I always get anxious posting anything like that. And I know that some of you ask me to post stuff from time to time that deals with my music. So at the end of this video, when I say thanks for watching, I'm going to edit in that video. And if you want to watch, it's like 2 minutes long. You can hear me play trombone. So I know some people are interested in that. So use the word of the day in your comment. Tell me what you think about the Noveske NODEF. What do you think about 6.5 Creedmoor? And what do you think about dead air silencers, and more specifically, the Sandman S in 7.62? So there we go. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.
Thank you. Thank you.